everybody, and welcome to today's edition of Coffee Talk. And it's a very special edition, I have to tell you. Um, this morning, our interviewer is my good friend and sweetheart, fellow budding medium, Fabiana, or Fab, as I call her for fabulous. And of course, we have Eric, our usual man here, who I'm always grateful for. But today's special guest is Otto Warmbier. And I hope I'm saying that right. I may not be. I don't listen to the news. I just know when they come to me that they want to be heard. So when he came, I realized how serious the situation and how intense what caused this and is. And he wanted to just first convey all the love in the world and that he holds no grudges against anyone at all.
Yes.
It's the first
Yes,
thing
that's
that
true.
he wants everybody to know. And this will be conducted with the highest and best intention for everybody watching, listening. And we'll proceed as that and the Afterlife interview with Otto. And he just says he prefers Otto. And I always ask my folks to pick a song. And I didn't quite know what song, because he was a young man and I don't know much about his life, so I let him choose it as always. I put my Pandora on shuffle, and of course, the first thing that came up is nothing I would have chosen. Not on my playlist, as they say. So, it's quite apropos, the words, and he'd like you to listen to the words. And this is what the experience was like for him. And he says, and that's all he's going to do. He's going to leave it there. And then he's going to give you his experience as he knows it now. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Coffee Talk with Otto. And his pick was 21 Pilots album. Heathens is the name of the song from the Suicide Squad. Again, not somebody I would have picked. It's an amazing song, though.
Please don't make any sudden moves. You don't know the half of the abuse. All my friends are heathens, take it slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know. Please don't make any sudden moves. You don't know the half of the abuse. So welcome to the room of people who have rooms of people that they love one day docked away. Just because we check the guns at the door doesn't mean our brains will change from hand grenades. You'll never know the psychopath sitting next to you. You'll never know the murderer sitting next to you. You think I'd get it sitting next to you. But after all I've said, please don't forget.
That's beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that was, sorry about the dog barking. That was his experience there. You sit next to murderers and don't make a sudden move. And he says that's exactly what that experience was like. And his point is that the people in North Korea live like that every single day.
Yeah.
He just wants everybody to know that's what it's like for them every single day. All right, so let's begin. Welcome, Otto.
All right.
On a couch. He's very relaxed and laid back today. Looks like he has khaki pants and like a golf shirt on. He just gave me the thumbs up on that. So he's ready and smiling, and let's go.
think, as you said before, Marie, we don't know much about him. So I was wondering if he can introduce himself. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
He says, I would love to. And he takes a bow. He's kind of like a little boyish, kind of cheekish. And he says, hello, my name's Otto, and I'm 5 years old. And he's laughing. So his spirit is very jovial and very much kid-like and joking. And he says, I love to make jokes. I found everything funny, even though I studied and I was serious about that, but I was the prankster. I like to read, I like to study, I like to learn all kinds of great new things, and I was open to all kinds of new ideas, and it was amazing for me to be able to travel and soak up all that. Um, Never in a million years
Okay, so that
had
takes me
I
exactly
thought,
to this.
Never in a
Excuse me?
never in a million years had I thought that a joke would have ended like this.
See, that takes me to the second question. In fact, I wanted to ask you. So I could tell from what I read about you that you like to discover new things and to travel. So what were you expecting from the trip to China and then further to North Korea? Was it a related to your studies, or simply you wanted to see completely new places?
He says that travel always is in relation to studies because you absorb so much from the cultures that you experience when you travel. So shame on you if you don't learn something while traveling
Yeah.
to new places. And that was very much a passion of mine. And what was the other part of the question? I'm sorry.
Was your the reason for traveling, was it connected to your studies, or to learn new things, to see new places?
To grow, to grow. And yes, I did. I
Hmm.
learned to every single time. Um, the world was my oyster. I might have had business um, intentions there at some
Yeah.
point and someday, but here I was, a budding student traveling.
You said right after the song, we stopped the song, you said this is exactly what people over there. See, I don't know if you know, I was born and raised in a totalitarian regime country in Albania until I was 21. I do remember the first foreigners when they were visiting. We did think that they were a little silly and sometimes even disrespectful. The way they would be loud and partying and slamming doors. And did you see this there as well?
Um, he says, yes, some of that with other students I'm sure went on, but that's not how we were. You know, we were making fun of things, being jestful,
I know.
jovial. We certainly weren't being disrespectful
No, I know. Even
intentionally
those,
or anything we would have thought that would have been disrespectful because in America you do that and it's like, oh, you're a dumb kid, you know, and that's it. But they take that shit seriously there.
exactly. I really want to sort of confirm for whoever that doesn't know that. I do remember those times when the first foreigners started to come to Albania, and really people in Albania couldn't understand the first foreigners, the way that they would behave. And now, obviously, that's all normal. But back then, people didn't understand that. Just that to tell how tough and stiff everybody was. Yeah,
Certainly a different point of view.
correct. Correct. So that was one thing that you probably didn't know about those countries. Is that correct?
Um, yeah, he says, how could I grew up in America, you know,
Yeah.
where you're free and you have free speech. And, you know, when you read that and you read that and you think it's for the history books and you really don't have a concept as an American being able to walk outside and say, that politician sucks ass, you know, and when you come to a
Yeah.
regime-ruled country, such as Albania, such as North Korea, you're so, he uses the word virgin and innocent and unaware that everything is watched and everything is felt like a threat. And if you think that
Yeah.
America has Big Brother, you have no idea to what extreme these regimes take it to.
Yeah. It seems like I was reading about you. One of your friends said when they came to take you, you didn't look surprised and you didn't resist them. Is that true?
He says the first thing he said was, honestly, I was really in shock. And
Oh, okay.
and no, resistance was futile. They would have shot me right there in front of everybody. What gain would
Yeah.
that have had except I'd have been dead sooner, which, you know, and might have seemed preferential to what I went through. But I wouldn't have put my friends and my parents through that
Yeah.
intentionally. And honestly, in the back of my head, I believed I would get out of it.
Oh, yeah. A human always believes that, yeah. Otto, now that you're there, why did you choose this contract, this life contract? What was your purpose?
Gosh, he's just so sweet and he's honest, and I feel nothing but love from him. Okay. He leans over and he says, you know, it really seems, boy, that was a stupid thing for me to have chose because it wasn't easy and it wasn't pretty, but it was quite noble.
Yeah.
And you will be amazed and surprised at what it has shed light upon in that country for how those people live every day. Those people are afraid like that every day.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
chose me for a couple of reasons.
Okay.
My nationality, my actions. And they did want to make an example of me to show their power by saying,
Yeah.
you know, if you enter our territory, I don't care who you are. I am totally in control over you. That was the entire purpose of gathering me up. So my bigger purpose is to show that I'm not the only one. People live like that there every day. Inconceivable to those of us in America. That you walk out and say, that politician sucks ass, and then 10 minutes later or 10 days later, whatever it takes for the jail wagon to show up and just cart you off every single day.
See, for 2 days in a row, I was trying to talk to you. To say, okay, Otto, what do you want to talk about? And I heard nothing from you. Nothing. Until this morning, I sat down, I wanted to write the questions, and boy, did you have to say.
Yep.
Like, I wrote 3 pages, you know, all over. And I did get some questions answered, like, in my head, obviously, but this is exactly what you also told me this morning. Here's the other thing, though. Obviously, as you said, you know, you almost didn't know that this would be that sort of a contract or ending that way. And you also said it's time to give voice to oppression, to what's happening around the world. This morning to me you said, mind you, this is not only in those countries. people are deprived of free of speech in so many other countries.
He says,
Can you please elaborate?
he just said, Fab, people are oppressed in their own homes.
Yeah.
If you're in an abusive relationship and you're walking on eggshells because you're afraid you're going to get your ass beat,
Yeah.
you're afraid to talk and speak your mind. There's so many other situations, and you can take that to all kinds of microcosms of relationships. I came here to shed a light on that, and you're right, because that truthfully is lower vibrational, emotional states of being. And once, we realize that that's a grand illusion that anybody has control over anything.
That's a great lesson, actually. That's a great lesson.
Anything, and they can learn to work together. The earth, Mother Earth, human nature, and humankind will be on a whole new level, and that's what we're rising to. And this is part of the impetus for.
I said, I'm still learning how to hear you guys, you spirits. But here's a piece of information that I got in my head when I said, what are you doing up there? What are you working on or with? And I heard previous and actual political detainees.
Mm-hmm.
Can you elaborate on that, please?
Yes, he says that's only one of the very many things that I do. And the conditions everywhere for detainees, with very few exceptions, are horrific and torturous. And the detainees are singled out and made to be by themselves and left to rot, basically, a lot of them.
Yeah.
And when you have darkness and that much time and the entire world has forgotten about you, you need a friend. Some of them can tell who I am, not because they know my story, but they're aware and their spirit remains in a different vibration because their body is subject to such dire conditions. I play mental chess with them. I sing, I remind them of music. Sometimes they allow me to take their souls to project, to see what it's going to be like once their body has been released.
Yeah. I do know this is true also from a personal, no, I haven't been in jail, but the brother of my mom, when he came out of jail after 20 years, and he said, I was ready to suicide that night, and he had collected all he needed, and a real angel showed up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Only because, and that angel spoke and talked him out of that. And when he came out of the jail, he hadn't seen one of the nieces, that came to the family, and when he saw her, he was like, crying, and he said, that's her. That was the angel who came to talk to me. So I do know this is true. Thank you for confirming that. Can you please elaborate or add more as to what else are you doing over there?
He, Eric, our good friend and my guide and love of many lifetimes and many other people's as well, Eric Medhus, is here, and he gets around. Eric does, and he is with Otto, teaching him how to adjust his energy to the other side, because Otto spent such a long time in such a heavy vibration down here. It takes a little while to adjust. And
Yeah.
Eric is kind enough to be up there and have helped him, and he's still learning. But what he says is the most amazing thing to me is I would spend hours studying down there and absorbing and trying to absorb the information up here. It's kind of like you plug into the knowledge of all and you absorb it that way, and you don't have to take torturous hours and read books and take tests. It's amazing. I love it. So I am learning anything that I want to. And, uh, I hang out with lots of people up here. John Lennon, the peaceful ones. I hang out with the people on earth that are trying to promote change. I love music. Over here, it's amazing and indescribable. And there are just times that me and Eric hang out and when they show me this, I feel like I'm sitting on the side of this beautiful hill and all the lavender and blue flowers and poppies, and they change as the music changes, and you absorb the music and you feel it as well. And so that was quite a ride he just took me on, because the only way I can describe it is it's like on a body wave ride in the ocean. And your whole body feels it and smells it and senses it. And you're in the middle of it, but it's also colored too. Wow. But he's joyful.
Amazing.
He's joyful. He wants everybody to know he accomplished exactly what he came here to do. And he's very proud of what he did. Wasn't pretty, but it is what it is. And he wants to honor his family and thank them for their constant and continued support. And because they didn't feel he was in his body when they were gathered around, he wants them to know that he heard every single thing.
Oh.
And he wants them to know that he doesn't seek justice. And he wants them to be at peace, that he's at peace.
Oh, yeah.
He wants them to just honor his memory and move on. And live freely in his honor. And know that he loves each and every one of them and his friends and his experiences, and he feels very grateful and very blessed to have been in this lifetime with each and every one of them.
Yeah. So when you crossed over, Otto, how was it, and who welcomed you?
Well, so what he says is, when you're in a coma, your physicality is in a coma.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that your spirit is stuck here in the physical.
Okay.
You know how Eric describes that we're doing you can be in a million places at once, right? You can do anything in spirit.
Yeah.
So, one small part of your spirit stays here in your physical to keep the body running.
Oh, wow.
And the rest of it goes in wherever it wants to be. So he says that the transition itself felt quite normal, and he kind of feels like it was the last thing keeping him tethered to earth, and he just shakes it off, and he was free. So it just felt like the last thing that he had to do was done, he said. It's a good way to feel.
Yeah. For such a short life of yours, I mean, relatively short, did you have a life interview? I'm sorry, life review.
Okay, so he's like, when you said that, he's like, you can fuck up in a short amount of time.
True.
And basically life reviews aren't just the fuck up, so, because he kind of laughed. He says it's the beautiful parts too. And not only that, people on earth have the concept that life reviews are simply this past life. And he says, but that's not true, because whatever it is that you came here to experience and that affects this life that was past life, or this life affected and repaired stuff from the past lives, you see that as well. And it's from such a point of non-judgment and joy
Yeah.
that, you simply have to feel what you caused others to feel
Yeah.
in that moment to be able to understand the
Oh, yeah.
opposites and who you are. So, he says it was joyous. I got to see a lot of good shit.
Nice.
He says all the shit, some people would go, well, I'm not proud of it. He goes, not me. I'm fucking proud of all of that shit I did over there.
Bravo. Oh my God. Yeah. I felt like you talked to me so lovingly this morning. I'm so happy. And you gave us like a lot of messages. I was wondering if you have anything else to add. I don't have any more questions for you
If he has anything to say.
to add. Yeah, to
Oh,
say.
well, so here, let's ask Eric
Yeah.
what questions he has. And he just
Yeah.
hugged me for that. Thank you, Eric. I didn't forget. Because I love you. I don't.
Sorry, Eric. Yeah.
So he asked him about how he survived mentally through the physical abuse. And Eric's not saying this because he's wanting to magnify that situation, right?
Oh, I
That's
know.
not
Oh, I know.
the point of this question. The point of this question is quite poignant and quite deep, and if I cry a little bit, you're gonna have to forgive me for this, okay? I think the underlying part of the reason why we're here is to magnify that people are tortured every single day in their own homes, in their own heads. They torture themselves. They do it to each other, and it can seem quite barbaric.
Oh, yeah.
And quite to us it is. I'm just going to say, as a human, I will judge it as barbaric because I don't want to ever experience it. But Eric said, so where did you go? How did you deal with the abuse, right? So that was the question. And Otto just wants to say this. I took myself to the Dodgers game. I took myself to graduation. I took myself to fishing. I took myself to hiking in the mountains. I took myself back to that day with a different ending.
Yeah.
I got in touch with the God within me. I got in touch with source energy.
Oh, wow.
And when the abuse was going on, I channeled source energy, as you would call it, to take my mind away from my body. And they answered, and they did. If you're going through the abuse of any kind, even the torture that you give yourself, I'm not good enough,
Oh, yeah. Oh,
smart
yeah.
enough, anything, open up your channel to source energy and allow them source energy. He, she, they, however you view that in your mind, to take away that pain so you can overcome it and be total and completely apart from that. I taught and learned how to live separately from my body. And that was the only way that I made it through that. I made it with love. I made it with the love of my family. I have to tell you that while I was going through all that, the feelings, the energy of love and warmth that I felt from everybody praying and working for me was fathomable, palatable. You can do something even when the situation seems hopeless. And that's to give it love, to give it positivity. And that's his message. And then he just backs off a little bit. Wow, that was quite incredible and touching. And I just want to thank you so very much.
Yeah. Oh my God. I tried hard to hold myself. Also, as I said, I connect personally on some points that he mentioned, especially when Eric said, "Okay, how did you survive?" And I'm like, "Oh God, no," because that was one of the first questions that we asked to our uncle. You know how you mentioned that now you're assisting political detainees everywhere,
Yes.
past and present. Did you feel the presence of anyone with you in the beginning?
Well, he says, I was never really totally spiritual. I was a young fellow just coming out and learning. I did have an idea,
Yeah.
and a feeling that you do. And I was so unaware, and I would have told you that if you can't see it, it's not so. But unaware, yes, they were all assisting me.
Yeah.
And
Now you know.
now I know, and cheering me along in this quest to move forward for humankind.
Wow, Otto, beautiful messages.
Yes, and
Eric,
yeah, thank you, my
Eric
friend.
too.
So, thank you everybody for watching today, and I'm sorry about the, the raspy voice, and I'd just like to thank you all for watching and keeping an open heart and an open mind. And we'd like to thank, Otto and Eric and my dear friend Fab. I'd also like to tell you, hey, go check out Eric's mom's website.
Yeah.
It's www.channelingeric, and that's Eric with a K, .com, and learn about his incredible story. And she's amazing, and I have every bit of my gift to owe to her and her son and her story. And hey, check us out, www.divinemessages.love. You can book a reading with me.
Oh, guys, you will not regret.
And Basics of Spirituality 101 on Facebook. And, there's Channeling Eric blogs on Facebook pages and all kinds of great things to get you started in the right way to spirituality if you choose. So thank you to everybody. I love you all. Sending you all so much love and appreciation. Subscribe to the YouTube station. Thanks. Holly's in my ear reminding me that.
Thank you, Holly.
Thank you, Holly. And everybody have a wonderful day. Spread as much peace, happiness, and joy that you can. It's free, so sprinkle that shit around.
Yeah. Like Eric's way of saying that, yeah.
Yep.